moment for it to show up because there's a bit of a 10-second delay. There we go. All right, so just as a heads up, I do have the watch together in case we need it for anything. I don't know if we will. We probably won't, but that's just in case. But yeah, essentially, this is just for those in chat that are curious, because I don't think I announced this. The central idea behind this is to hash things out. That's the goal that they've presented in having this discussion. So it's not just us taking shots. In case people are curious as to how this came about. But yeah, if you guys want to say anything, floor is yours.
Yeah, we are looking for full transparency, and we are willing to elaborate on any idea or detail presented, although certain details we will shift to other members of our little three-man here. For example, Pebble Clack, also known as Kino Flex, will handle most of the details he presented in the interview, while anything directed towards our channel or a bit of our server or other channel drama involving the gaming rift will be covered by me and Resikin primarily.
Okay.
Yep.
So
yeah, I feel like there's also going to be a structure to it. So is there like any specific topics going over first? Like I think between like SK and Jack, I think that's what was discussed first.
The first
I
thing
guess.
I wanted to question you on, Jack. So where exactly did you get the idea that we were accusing Arachnid Youth of being a pedo based on like some fan fiction he made where he aged up a character? And real quickly, right? I do want to specify in the League Entertainment video, which I think Comic Legend could actually send me the doc for that. In that video, in his script, he specifically said, yeah, that doesn't necessarily prove you're a pedophile. That wasn't any argument he made in his video. He just finds it a bit weird. But to use that as any kind of intent, that was specifically a point that Nirvana Mind, funnily enough, tried to use against Arachnid Youth, and we thought that was inconclusive. So, yeah, basically what I'm saying is, where did you get that from?
Yeah, I got that from. I mean, that's just what came across to me from your and Colin's videos on the subject, especially in that one call with you and Comic Legend, actually, where you pressed him on that one Mary Jane as a baby or Mayday as a baby example, because
Yeah,
you seem to have taken that as proof that he has pedophilic tendencies.
So that's not what our argument was. My argument, at least in that case, was that he was defending the idea that a grown man looks at Mayday Parker in Across the Spider-Verse specifically that version. We made sure to specify this. He said, she's not a real child, therefore it's not pedophilic. That was the point that we were hammering home, and that's why I kept posting that timestamp over and over again, showing what was said and the full context behind it.
I can jump in after you respond.
Before you jump in, do you mind if I share my screen real quick?
No, of course. Yeah, I'm just saying right after you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
in response to that,
the only thing I want to say about my video, there's like timestamps that literally show that yes, I flat out actually defended Arachnid Youth on the aging up thing. I literally said like that doesn't make him a pedophile at all or anything like that.
Wait, is this the 4-hour guy?
And
I'm not familiar.
This is the 4-hour
okay.
guy.
So just to be transparent, like Jan and I, we talked with Borgie a while back, and my intention is not to defend like him distancing himself from Arachnid Youth. I'm not here to defend everything Arachnid Youth did. I'm just here to make my case that calling him a pedophile is a misappropriation of the term, and I find it quite serious to levy against someone.
Okay.
And especially when it's going to be levied against myself and Joker for pointing out that it's not a pedophile and that he's not a pedophile. And the reason I say is because, go ahead.
I'm just to clarify, I'm not saying you're a pedophile. I think whether it's by accident or whatever, I think you are technically defending something that is pedophilic. But that's not to say that you are.
Yeah. Well, do you see my screen right now?
Also, in my video, I never called him a pedophile. I actually concluded he isn't exactly a pedophile in the video, if you got to my conclusion.
Okay.
I told him it afterwards, but that's because of later context.
Yeah.
Right. So, but do you see my?
Because of the way this is formatted, you're gonna have to read it out, but that's fine. We're here to read it, so.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I can share it. So, I'm talking about, but what I'm reading off from is the DSM-5, which is a medical journal from psychologists and medical professionals that detail what exactly it is. And I'm just gonna read this out. So pedophilic disorder, sexual focus on children, because of their nauseousness or potential harm to others, are classified as criminal offenses. The 8 listed disorders do not exhaust the list of possible paraphilic disorders. Dozens of distinct paraphilias have been identified and named. The diagnoses of the other specified and unspecified paraphilic disorders are therefore indispensable and will be required in many cases. The second group of disorders is based on anomalous target preferences. These disorders include one directed at other humans pedophilic disorder. The term paraphilia denotes any intense and persistent sexual interest other than sexual interest in genital stimulation or preparatory fondling with phenotypically normal, physically nature consenting human partners. In some circumstances, the criteria intense and persistent may be difficult to apply, such as the assessment of persons who are very old or medically ill and who may not have intense sexual interest of any kind. In such circumstances, the term paraphilia may be defined as any sexual interest greater than or equal to normophilic sexual interest. There are also specific paraphilias that are generally better described as preferential sexual interest than as intense sexual interest. But yeah, the point is, in that example that you provide,
Can you open that up real quick? Can you open
hold on.
Open it back up.
I'll
Yeah,
link
sorry.
it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll link. Yeah, I'll also link it. Hold on. In the
Because
chat.
there's a line I feel like at the bottom that you didn't get to, which I think is pretty relevant.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just read it off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he just sent it.
Yeah, but which one did you want me to read off of?
Oh yeah, so right. Okay, so an interest in these activities that equals or exceeds the individual's interest in copulation or equivalent interaction with another person. So copulation means, intercourse. So what pedophilia constitutes is being interested in the act more than normal copulation. Well, I mean, not normal, standard. All right. And I'll get back to that later. I'm going to keep letting you talk, but just keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah, but SK, the point
I'm really sorry to interrupt. Just SK regarding the stream, people in chat can barely see like the actual scans being posted.
No,
I'm not sure if there's a way of fixing that.
No, yeah, I specifically said that's going to be a thing we have to deal with. Because of
no worries. I wasn't.
But that's why I said
think
to
I was
Jack,
muted for that. But yeah,
that's why
my
I said
bad.
just read it. All good.
Yeah, but the main point, SK, that I wanted to just get across is that technically, even if you don't agree, Arachnid Youth is correct in saying that a guy is who jerks it to Mayday porn of her as a baby from the Spider-Verse is not technically a pedophile because if he simply looks at that stuff but doesn't meet the medical definition of a pedophile. That's all I want to say.
Okay, so let me just repeat what you just said, just so I'm getting it correct. So, you said as long as someone doesn't act on it, or have plans to act on it, that proves that they're not a pedophile. Is that what you're saying?
As defined by the DSM-5, yes.
Okay, so the problem I have with this is when we're talking about pedophilia, we're talking about attraction. And attraction is one thing, acting is a different thing. So I don't really see how that contradicts what we're saying. Our whole point is that he is sexually attracted, or the person in this situation is sexually attracted to what they obviously know is a baby, to what's clearly depicting a baby. And when I say pedophile, I just pull the direct definition. It says a person who is sexually attracted to children. Now, that's not to say they're going out of their way to do something right now, or they're going out of their way to plan anything. I'm just talking about attraction when I say that.
Mm-hmm.
So would you agree
am I good
that...
to stop sharing?
Hold up. People are saying fix the audio. Give me a second. Let me just listen
Yeah,
to
why
the
is
stream.
half the screen is taken up by on air? Like, how do you?
No,
remove
I've
that?
already I explained that, but give me a moment.
Oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
wasn't
we
paying
would like
attention
to
to what he
show
said.
clips at some point, though.
Yeah.
I think it's very
Could you
important.
also link the stream to the chat, please?
Okay, so the audio is randomly cutting off. So what I'm gonna do
Mhm.
is recreate some stuff real quick.
SK the creator.
Okay. I'm gonna recreate the desktop audio thing. Because I don't know what just happened there. So give me a moment. Yeah, you don't have to keep sharing it. Um, okay. So
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
okay, so it should I fixed it now,
Oh,
so it
never mind.
should be working without glitches. So just let me know, chat, if it's if that's working. If it's no longer cutting out. I suppose like, yeah, just start talking just in case. I guess they can hear the music in the background, but I don't know. Just say a few things just to test it.
Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
All right, did that go through, people? It's fixed.
The most
Okay,
amazing
thank fuck.
sentence that will ever be spoken tonight.
All right, thankfully it's fixed. Okay, so still cutting. Really?
For what it's
Thi-
worth, I'm listening to the stream simultaneously. It's not cutting in and out on my end, but I don't know if that's.
Nick, maybe try restart the stream. Maybe that'll fix it.
Yeah. Still buggy. It sounds fixed.
This
to me.
reminds me of when I did like a remote event with the nearby nursing home. Like, we couldn't get anyone to figure out.
Yeah, it's okay. People are saying it sounds fine. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, the stream sounds fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so back to what we're on about. So, yeah, my whole point that I was making before we unfortunately cut out is that even if someone doesn't have plans of anything or have intentions of doing anything, the sole point was about attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, to me and to you, obviously, Mayday is a child or a baby, to be precise. However, when it comes to fictional content, there's a lot of additional psychology you have to take into account because it's possible for someone to look at something animated and not perceive it as the real life thing. And you see this all the time with video games too. They can make a distinction between violence they commit in GTA, for example, and violence committed in real life. They can distinguish those two things. So
If I
that's
were to-
just the difference there.
if I were to interject, what does this have to do with Arachnid You specifically? If this
Because this was
picture of
something he
Mayday part-
specifically defended.
Yeah, I mean, like he like said something about, but did he himself send a picture of baby MJ? Because as far as I know,
No, that's not the
that's just a
accusation.
talking
The
point.
accusation.
Yeah, the accusation is
that he
One at a time,
defended
please.
if someone wanted to.
Like we don't defend
saying
any of
it's
that
okay.
baby stuff, but that's not stuff he seemed to engage in.
Okay,
It's
so
just
Ultimate
something
Joker.
that's a
What
bad
happened?
take on it.
What happened is that I said to him, "Is Mayday a baby in is Mayday a child in Across the Spider-Verse?" He said, "Yes, she's a baby." So I said, "Would that make someone a pedophile if they get off to that and they jerk off to a sexual depiction of that same exact depiction of the character?" He said, "No, it would have to be an actual child." So like, what do you think of that?
We
I mean,
didn't
that's
really
what
have
you
any
said, right?
approval of that Google,
What's,
to be honest.
What,
But the main
guys,
point
guys,
that
guys,
Rex-
guys, one at a time, please. Sorry, you're all talking to each other. Second there.
Yeah,
So,
I was
go
just
Okay,
ahead.
let me-
Ultimate,
Ah, I'm back.
'cause he
Yeah.
said
he, he was
There's also-
asking me.
Yeah,
Let me just
yeah, please.
interject
One
quickly,
second,
if that's okay.
This isn't
sorry,
to the same extent. but this-
guys, we need to all stop talking over each other. SK was talking to
yeah.
Joker. I want to hear from Joker, and then we can do a different order from there. All right?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Cheers.
Sounds good.
But anyway, regardless of what that take is, which is pretty iffy behavior we do not stand by, the main point we made is that Arachnid Youth has not broken that rule within our server whatsoever. I don't think being lumped in as a defender just by association is anything that's something that could be pinned on me.
Well, what I'd say the problem is that, because I did bring this up in the Discord, which you seem to think was me rating. That wasn't me rating. I was trying to give like a warning that this is something that he does in fact defend and he endorses. So like, yeah, that what I was bringing up was that that's something he defends, and your response to that was, well, I don't really care about cartoons or drawings, something of that nature. So that's why when you say something like that, that's why people have the perception of you defending it, because that is a thing Arachnid Youth is known to have said and argued for, as like not a bad thing, not pedophilic, and you're out here saying, well, it's just a drawing, so I don't really care. So I guess,
Can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for cutting you off. I wish there was like a hand raising thing.
No, it's
But regardless, I actually had a late night call with Arachnid Youth last night. Pause, not in that way. It's like I wanted to get details for this video that we're doing this stream, and I asked him exactly what we're talking about right now. What happened? Be honest with me, because we can't defend someone who's lying, right? Yeah, no, but let me just tell you what he told me. Yeah. He said that what happened was that SK confronted him with the picture of, Mayday, and said, if someone drew this in a X-rated I don't like saying the word, but someone drew it in the X-rated manner, would this constitute, pedophilia? And he said no, but it's not something I would be for. So basically he's making like the moral argument that it's not the same as actual CSAM, which honestly I don't agree with that take. I think it's a bit weird, because he said that he doesn't like it and that it's weird, but he doesn't think it's pedophilia, and this suggests this might, come off to someone that, oh, he's cool with it.
So
basically he's saying it's kind of sorry.
Real quick.
Well, already he lied, by the way.
By the way, do you mind if I interject here? I can actually give a very good reason why he is fully okay with that kind of content. And that's I mentioned this to Jack. Oh, sorry, you.
Real quick, sorry, would you mind holding him there for just a second? And it's a case of, because Rift asked if he could go next, and then you can speak after that. Sorry, I'm just trying to obviously organize it so people actually get speaking time, right? So Rift next, and then Borgie, you can go after to clarify on.
Yeah, so
right?
all I was gonna say was like, because with this situation, it's like I was looking at it from, because this was years before I even met like SK Comic Legend, so for me it was like a retrospective opinion, I guess, just looking at the information provided. And like the way that I look at it, at least, is I think it has to, like, even though like legally and stuff it's like a gray area, this whole like, on this like pornographical thing, I do feel like a degree of common sense needs to be applied to it, where it's like, say for example, there's like an overly feminine character who was like an adult in an anime, for example, and you were like attracted to that. It's like logically that would imply that you were attracted to like women, for example, or like womanly like features. So it's like I feel like the same logic could be applied to if you were attracted to like a child character, for example. It's like, okay, same logic could be applied. But it's like I feel like the main reason why the situation with SK joining your server, Joker, I think the reason why it looked bad on you specifically, and the reason why I outlined in my video, is because these like allegations against someone were relatively severe, and it was something that, especially if your server was public and you had, minors joining your server, you had like a variety of people, and especially if you were a minor yourself, this person could be a danger to himself, to you, and to others, especially since I think you're the owner of your server. So it stands to you, especially if they're sending like all of this information, like videos exposing the guy or what have you. I feel as though the way that you responded specifically, it's like whether you defend the guy or not, it's like I don't really think that's it's down to you at the end of the day. But I think the reason why it looks so bad is the fact that you immediately dismissed it, where it's like these are very serious allegations. Whether they're true or not is a different matter, and whether you agree with the information provided or whether you have your own perspective. Because I know that Jack has his own perspective, that's fine. But I think the fact that you dismissed the evidence to begin with, and you responded the way you did, and the way that you spinned it as being like a hate raid or what have you on your server, I think that's part of the reason why people are looking at you in a negative light specifically. When I feel like what you could have done is even if you'd looked at the first 10 minutes of the video and been like, okay, I understand what you're trying to say, he hasn't violated any rules, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt kind of thing. I feel like if you'd have said that, there would have been no issues at all. But I think it's mainly just the way you portrayed yourself, which made you look not the best in this situation. That's all I was going to say.
Well, anyway, to sum that up, the key word is whether it's true or not, but everything that's been portrayed are not legal cases as Pebble described, especially since the baby MJ image is something that Arachnid Youth did not engage in. Nothing in that video was actually a legal case, but the be or end all is that Arachnid Youth, within the rules of her server, has not done any of that. He has not broken any of the rules that Resikin could explain even more as he wrote.
Oh yeah, no, let me just really quickly
let Resikin go, please.
Yeah, please. I mean, he spoke for 2 minutes. But what happened is that we have a rule in our server that we don't even discuss the matter of pedophilia. We had someone join from Reddit who didn't interact. No, he never interacted like he was a pedophile, but he would keep discussing it. He would keep bringing up these rumors about different pedophiles. It became really strange. He would go in every channel just talking about it. I'm like, dude, chill. And he kept doing it. And eventually we banned him just because he was making mention of it. People don't even make those kind of jokes in our server. We make edgy jokes. I feel like we all do. But those kind of jokes, that's a red line. If Arachnid Youth even seemed like he was interacting with someone in a strange way, I guess, the argument can be made, oh, maybe he's DMing minors. But does he have a track record of that?
No.
Yeah, so the thing is, if he even acted like an iota of the manner that you described to us, then he would be out. It's okay. No harm. I mean, actually, harm would
clarify real quick, right? Because Resikin did say some things about the baby thing with the Arachnid Youth, which Borgie can address in a moment. I'm just saying this so we can keep track of what's going on here. Borgie and Liam are Comic Legend. They're particularly interested in addressing that real quick. So once you're done, Resikin, unless you have something else to say, we'll just shift to that.
Oh, got it. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. If there was strange behavior, and the fact of the matter, SK, you can't assume motivation. To us, it seemed like a raid because you just made, a response video, and boom, right after you went in. So you would understand, for example, if we made a video on you that was negative, and then we jumped into your server and started talking about someone in your server, you would call that a raid, probably.
All right.
Upon first impression, because we didn't know any of this.
There's a few things I genuinely want to say now. Okay. So, firstly,
I was meant to go next. All I'm saying.
Yeah, but I can't wait anymore. I gotta say this. I gotta. All right. So, firstly, about the raid thing, I can understand how you guys may have a first impression of that. That's fair, but firstly, did SK or anybody else spam stuff in your server constantly, or did he just link a few videos?
He had 3 people and just start flaming others. I think we deleted their stuff, but
I didn't spam, but I just.
All right, SK.
No, did you? SK himself only sent what he screenshotted, but he had 3 other people come with him, and they were just arguing with people and sending.
Were they working under SK, or were they just other people that joined that are his stupid fans?
So what happened is that I was showing what was being said in the group chat, just like in a disapproving manner. It's like, whoa, what the fuck is that? I think Comic Legend and Borgie would have seen that because they're in the group chat. So then, I know 2 people were interested, Dom and Batnek, I think. They're like, hey, can we see this server? And I sent the link, if they wanted to look in for themselves. That wasn't me saying go raid it. That's me saying if you want to see the conversation, or engage in it, that's your door.
Well, I believe you, man. I don't think that you told them, oh, everyone, let's raid this, server.
Yeah, so I wanna point this out.
Okay.
I can understand why you guys thought SK caused a raid, but if you just looked at it, there's no real evidence besides his fan. At most, a few of his fans were a bit unhinged, which is common with everybody in here who has a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So to kind of,
even though
hang on a second.
Yeah, but
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I get it. That there's people that do that. I get it. Fan bases, we can't control them. We can not condole it, which a lot of us do not condole it. But if it happens, that's not our fault. We can't stop people. We don't have that power. So to go on like your channel and publicly say that he's raiding, that's kind of not true. I think you guys should have maybe thought about it before publicly stating something like that. You think that would be fair?
I mean, there's no way of really proving what a raid is unless you just work with a sentence that says, hey, let's go raid a server, but no one who's going to raid a server is going to really text that as a message.
If I was
spamming, okay, in fairness...
Hang
on a second. Okay, in fairness, like, is there, like, any screenshots of what the raid looks like? Because, like, what I think of a raid, I think of, like, people, like multiple people coming in that are clearly there with SK, and SK himself is like spamming. Then I'll go, yeah, that's obviously a raid. SK tried to raid. He's like constantly spamming the same thing over and over and over again, and like drowning out your chats and stuff, or taking over your VCs and just being purposefully disruptive. That's like how you could prove a raid. I don't think you could prove a raid by like 3 people were being annoying. SK just put a few things that he wanted to say to inform you guys and left. Like that doesn't seem like a raid. Like,
yeah, and on top of that, do you really think that...
I'm sorry.
Well,
I was wondering, do you think that...
Hey, I actually wanted Resikin.
One at a time, please.
I understand.
Yeah, no, Katana's fans wants to talk, man, because like he was trying to get into.
Well, I was just gonna say.
No worries.
I feel like.
Also, I've been trying to get a word in for the past 5 minutes.
I think we should let Resikin respond to that.
Well, okay. I mean.
Okay. I'll go quickly.
Okay, go ahead. Nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's not, intentional. It's a big call.
No
but
worries.
Yeah. No, but if you have a point, we can't prove it to be a raid, and that was not the intention. But to us, it seemed like one, especially since that hadn't happened to our server before, where just like 4 people and like SK, oh my gosh, this big Spider-Man channel comes in and they just start messaging, and all the boards arguing with people. Okay, it's a troll. Obviously, fair. It's not as severe or significant as what might happen in other, bigger channels, because our channels aren't that big. To us, it seemed like a raid. Like for like a small country, like a bomb seems like a huge bomb. But to like a large country like America, it's like, oh, it's a smaller, more isolated event. You see what I mean? It depends on scale.
I can understand.
Hang on a second, SK.
That does not compare at all, but.
Hang on a second.
No,
okay, so
I'm referring to scale. That's my example.
Yeah, so that's completely fair. I'm not trying to blame you guys fully. I'm just gonna say maybe just for now on, if you guys are gonna have like such statements on what people are doing and all that, just make sure you take a step back and look at the full situation before you put that publicly.
Okay, the next time try to actually converse with us rather than spamming screenshots saying.
You don't think he wasn't trying to do that,
guys?
I mean, I wasn't doing anything.
It wasn't
guys.
Everyone, shut up.
Gentlemen, this is devolving into kind of blaming, one or the other for what the misgivings are. All right, let's move past this. Okay,
yeah, that was my bad.
I want to say 2 things. Sorry, please. I have stuff to say. All right. So 2 things. We've been waiting to speak for a while, so I'd like to go to him next. Second thing, I would like to put forward if we could, number 1, keep things, because I'm conscious of the fact there's a lot of people in this call. If we could, number 1, keep things to person says, person replies, and then if another person has something to say, they jump in. If not, conversation carries on. But it's a case of there's a lot of, I think the format of this is a little bit difficult at the current moment. So if someone wants to jump in,
no worries.
Just at me. I'll make sure that there's an order. You all get to speak.
Sorry, I didn't expect there to be this many people.
No, that's fine. Not a problem. You're all good, mate. All right, so we'll go to Borgie next.
All right, never mind then. Yeah, go ahead, Borgie.
Yeah, we'll go to Borgie.
Okay,
next,
so what's his name, Reskiskin or something like that. Fucking the guy with the Tobey Maguire PFP.
It's like rice. It's like rice and chicken. Resikin.
Oh, Resikin. Okay. Just for the sake of like, just repeat what Arachnid said to you regarding like the thing, because I want to address that specifically, because I want to kind of just give my reasoning for why I don't believe him fully.
Okay, no, that's fine. Basically, I called him. I said, "Hey, man, this is like it's not looking good. Like, where does this come from? Like, is there any truth behind it?" He said, SK confronted him. He's with that screenshot. And apparently, there was like a whole debate surrounding what constituted pedophilia and what didn't. And SK asked him if someone, wanks to that, as Grift would say, or are you, because you're British, right?
The baby stuff? Hold up. Something happened to desktop audio. It just poofed out. Give me a moment. I don't know why it's happening. I'm gonna be real. It's just starting to happen. It's starting to betray.
Regardless if this is on stream, can I ask
there we go.
Joker
It's fixed.
himself
I
something
fixed
really
it.
quick?
I fixed it. I fixed it.
Come on,
I fixed
come
it.
on, man. We're talking about.
Okay, whatever. I guess because you guys moved on from that subject, but I just was genuinely curious. Like, do you unironically think that when SK like came into your server with that, like he had really ill intent?
No, they don't think it anymore. We're past that.
Yeah, initially we did, but now we're like, okay, like the fact you invited us on here, whatever, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's just the reason just to reiterate what I was saying. Yeah, the reason I don't believe him is because the guy he was debating alongside, well, Arachnid isn't public with it. RSK is, and he posted classic series Gwen Tennyson, like NSFW.
Well, I don't even know why we're using that argument. Hang on, I want to bring this up. Like when we were friends with Colin literally had someone who was associated with him literally show like visual proof that Arachnid like does this shit himself. Like he literally creates this kind of porn. So like I don't know why like
go to that. Here's what I want to talk about real quick. So remember when Nirvana Mind pulled a screenshot of Arachnid Youth retweeting porn of Gwen from Across the Spider-Verse, right? And obviously that's like a 15, 16-year-old in the movie. So the main defense that he gave to us is that he thought it was the comics version. That was the defense he gave to us, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
So we believed that, and we thought, okay, so your argument here is weird, because if he thought it was the comic version, then how can you say that he meant to put underage porn or whatever out there? And they made weird arguments saying like, oh, well, the armbands, how couldn't you tell? It's like, okay, a tiny detail in the suit. He didn't notice that when scrolling very quickly. That's kind of ridiculous as a point. That's not good evidence. But what's interesting is that because Comic Legend just mentioned this, after Colin released his video, someone DM'd Colin showing evidence that he didn't just actually engage with the Gwen porn, but it was for Into the Spider-Verse. He said in the message, Into the Spider-Verse.
No, it's even worse. It's even worse. It's Spider-Teen Into the Spider-Verse. Like there's a
18, 19
a teenager too.
18,
it's two
19
teenagers.
Counts as teen. 18, 19
but he specifically said Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, who's 16.
That's true. And honestly, man, like I'm gonna like one more word because I think I'm talking too much. I'm sorry, Pebble Clock. This is, he prepared. Anyway, I'm just gonna give one more word and I'm gonna mute myself. But as for Gwen, the thing is, I understand the argument, but the thing is, she's heavily based on Haley Steinfeld, and like she looks just like her. You know what I mean? Who's like a fully grown adult who just got married to that quarterback who unfortunately didn't go to the Super Bowl, Josh Allen. But you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a bit of a stretch there.
Well, I wouldn't really agree with that if her canonical age is like known to be like a minor.
And he very specifically did that version.
It makes it even worse as well if it's specifically referenced as being into the Spider-Verse, since she's even younger than in Across. Like in Across, I'm fairly certain she's like 16, 17, but in like Into the Spider-Verse, she's specifically 15, which makes it even worse that it's specifically that version.
Okay, last thing.
Also, there was other characters that I can mention. So, yeah. There's also other characters I can mention. Say, I think... There's like one of them who's like, what is it, Jenny the Teenage Robot? Which is like another one.
Are we talking about a fucking robot?
I don't know if you paid attention. We just mentioned Into the Spider-Verse, if you listen.
Yeah, you know, I know, but this is like the recent thing that was brought up. I mean, like the reason I thought this was a raid, this is really not a discussion I want to talk about that much. Why do we want to talk about?
Okay, so
well,
Ultimate, real quick.
Sorry.
Ultimate Joker. If you're gonna make a video saying web of pedos against us and suggest we're pedophiles under the standard we set for Arachnid Youth, and you willingly engaged in it, then you can't be like, well, I don't want to talk about this.
Oh yeah, no, only after you guys introduced the subject to our server. That's why we interpreted it as a raid. It's similar to the rule where
again, Joker, I just brought it up to you as a warning. I didn't say you had to get involved or anything. You willingly got involved and made a YouTube video about it. You understand that, right? So you understand that when I bring this up, this is relevant, regardless of whatever other stuff you want to talk about.
Also, like,
I'm here because of a shared link in a community post. I've never talked about this prior.
Also, Colin brought up a good point in his video. If we're gonna use the robot thing, like, it's basically equivalent to like if you have a sex doll of a child. It's like I don't think that changes that you're still attracted to a minor in a sense. I mean, that's at least a red flag.
Especially if that. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, just Jack.
Like if you're having sex with like a blow up doll of like a 5-year-old. Like,
yeah. By the way, Jack has been wanting to speak.
Jack's wanted to speak. So like Jack speak a second, and then because I think this topic as well is largely getting circular now. It's a case of like
so we'll let him go.
Yeah,
we can continue with examples ad infinitum. So Jack, go.
Yeah, so I think there's something like there's a disconnect between like the art being depicted here, because something that's obvious to me at least is that Arachnid Youth was very upfront about aging up the characters being depicted. Now you can agree, you can say that it's distasteful to depict those characters in a pornographic light. However, this is something that's really normalized all across online. Like you said that Spider Teen having sex, or him depicting his OC Spider Teen having sex with Gwen from the Spider-Verse is immoral because they're both they should both be depicted as teens, right? But they're fictional. You can age them up, and people age up Starfire and Raven for porn art, despite them being.
Didn't he also make that for Word Girl though too? Sorry to interrupt,
but he was.
Well, he also vocalized that he aged it up. Again, I'm not into that sort of stuff. I don't think Joker or Resican are into that sort of stuff either, but
I believe
it's not akin to pedophilia.
So let me just explain that real quick.
I'm going next. I played the rules, SK.
Alright, fine.
I played the rules.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just to clarify.
My hands are up.
That's fine. I just want to really quick before comment goes. If it's just a case of for future, if it's just like a quick rebuttal to a point that someone made, that's obviously fine. Just try not to go on long tangents.
Oh, thank God. Okay. I'm trying to figure out the rules as we go.
It was going to be a quick one.
Yeah. Okay. So just if Nick is cool with it, can he make a quick rebuttal? Just really, I'll time it for him even. How about
you know what, SK? I'm gonna go easy on you. Yes, you could go.
All right. So just real quick, right? So
for 30 seconds. I'm timing.
Jack, I understand the whole Word Girl thing. Is that the whole point? Is that Word Girl was specifically aged up in that thing? I get that, but we didn't say that was definitive proof that he supports that kind of stuff. What we were referencing was him specifying that it's Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse. That was the main thing we were focused on. But now Comic Legend can go.
All right, very simply. I don't know why we keep going back to the aged up thing anyways. I've made this very clear in my video. Unless, SK, you disagree, I put this in the video. I don't think Arachnid is a pedophile or a creep or anything for aging up people. I made that very clear in the video. It's called, the Nirvana situation, and it's, in a chapter. It's very clearly well-defined. We don't care if he ages up. The problem is that when we confront him on multiple times where it doesn't seem aged up, and we talk to him about it, he never ever even uses that as a rebuttal. Because later on, we get information about his Instagram where his other underage character is sexualized. We confront him on that, and he never ever says they're aged up. He never brings that up as a point. Like, we go, why is it here? Da 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 da. That's a child. What are you doing? It's literally called teenage robot or whatever. He never ever uses the argument, oh no, this one's aged up. So I don't believe, like, here's my opinion. I don't believe Arachnid, like, I believe he doesn't care about the aged up thing, because like once we got the leaked things that he hides, like the Into the Spider-Verse specification, I don't believe he cares about the aged up thing. I think the reason he kept yapping about things being aged up is because initially that was my defense for him. That's what I gave him. He never thought of that himself. So as far as I can tell, he doesn't really care about the aged up thing. He only fucking uses it because he knows it's a good defense, because I gave that defense to him ever since SK first confronted him on it years ago. Like back when there was that like original debate where I was the one helping Arachnid Youth. Like, you know what I'm talking about, SK?
Yes, I do remember.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I brought up the aged up and stuff, I believe. That was my defense, not his. So I don't think he cares.
May I clarify something quickly with Liam? Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he also have like Penny Parker and it was drawn the same way as it was in the movie?
Yes.
Yeah, the exact same way. Like it was obviously like not different.
With a character like Penny, you need to change the drawing to age it up.
Not to intercede too violently again, but sorry, the gentleman with the weeb name, you can go next, and then Riff, you can go after that, alright?
No, I literally just go to hell. 15 seconds, literally. Don't you think the aging up excuse is kind of weak sauce to begin with? Because what are you aging it up from initially? Like, how young does the character have to be for it to be in some sort of moral gray area for you to begin with?
I mean, can I address that? Can I address that?
I don't care who
Jack,
go.
Jack, you got a quick rebuttal, and then Ref can go after. All right?
Yeah. So again, this is nothing new as a concept. If you look at like pornographic films or adult films, they will use fictional settings as a framing point to make the porn happen. Right. So you'll have like adult actresses, like they can be in their 20s, they can be in their 30s, they can be anything legal age. And they'll pretend to be minors or people underage,
age play
for the setting.
Yeah, and even then,
that doesn't constitute as child pornography.
It's because of the build. Okay, so to be clear, it's not about the actual. It's not about like. It's more so about the build. The reason why that obviously isn't like child porn is because they can't, like, they're adults in the end of the day. They can pretend to be children by their attitude, behavior in the porn, but that's like a category called age play because they're still adults. I think that's weird as fuck.
Creepy, though,
I do think it's creepy, but I don't think that indicates you're a pedophile.
Well, at the same time, petite women and short women also exist, so they can.
Yeah, but even they have slightly.
But there's a difference.
All right, hang on a second. Those like petite women and all that, it's very clear. There's a difference between like a really short woman and like a child. Like there's a difference in build there.
Right.
Yeah, of course there. Yeah,
especially in art, a lot of artists usually will teach you how to have a child build versus a short, like adult women build versus an adult. That's like how you're like taught in like art classes and stuff, which is provable, especially even in anime.
I mean, is that really every artist online has been given? I don't think everyone has gone to art school.
Really quickly.
No, well, what I'm saying is like by an official standard, there is a difference between a child's build and an adult's build, even in art, let alone in real life.
Just once again, I think we're just at a point where this could keep going down ad infinitum with examples and counter examples. Very quickly, is it agreeable to everyone like that's participating in this portion of the conversation that what Arachnid Youth did could be considered creepy to a lot of people?
Yes.
Yes, and I was gonna add something like as like a final comment on that regarding.
Yeah, and the one other thing I want to say is like, because it seems comic legend Liam, like you agree that it wouldn't be considered perhaps definitionally pedophilia, but you're just on the side it is creepy, right?
I think there's creepy undertones, but in my video, and I still stand by this till the day I die, like I don't think you're a pedophile for aging up characters. That's why I'm kind of getting tired of it being brought up. Like I think it's like mostly Jack. Like I'm not trying to shit on you or anything, Jack. It's just like it's like, yeah, I agree with that, but that's not my point. I don't think it's SK's point either.
Yeah,
like we agree, aging up is fine.
I do want to get back, and I feel like Rift, Gaming Rift is about to get to
Grift.
Gaming Rift abbreviated.
Infected my
Bro,
brain
that's
so
some betrayal shit.
It's been so infected in my brain that it's just like, oh my god. But yeah,
You'll take all of them next.
Bro, you got that betrayal fucking medal in Halo.
Real quick.
One at a time, please.
Real
Let
quick.
just
Yeah,
let us kick out. Then Jack can have a quick response.
The
then Rift
thing
goes
is,
definitively.
right? You can bring up the aged up thing all you want, right? But our whole focus is on the fact that he specified that it was from Into the Spider-Verse, Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse, and he was cool with doing that kind of suggestive art. So I think that should be the focus. I think that's what Rift was about to go on about, so he can go ahead.
Well, no, what I was gonna say was someone in chat actually made a really good point where it's like, I think as well you have to take a look at the intention behind like the whole aging up characters thing, because it's like, I feel like if people let's say the Teen Titans, right, and they age them like 15 years and then they write like stories that, you know, like adventures that they took part in like after the show had ended, for example, it's like, I feel like there would be no like immoral or unlikable intentions behind that. But then when you look at someone like what Arachnid Youth has done, and it's like, yes, aging up characters like doesn't make him like a pedophile, what have you, but at the same time it is very, I feel like it's very suggestive where it's like you specifically chose like a minor to age up, and it's like, again, doesn't make you a pedophile off that, but at the same time it's like surely like red flags would be going up because of that. And I would also like to point out that, like, 10 minutes ago, like, that comment would have had some meaning, but we pretty much seem to all be on the same page regarding it, so, yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point.
Can I say something real quick now? I just want to put it to rest right now, because this wasn't even really a point of contention in Joker's video. I even said that you can choose to associate with who you want. It's perfectly fine for you to find what Arachnid Youth did to be weird. I even told Borgie that when I had that call with him and Jan. But the main reason I'm hitting home this pedophilia term so much is because Arachnid Youth, like, apparently is a victim of child sex abuse himself, and I find it very immoral to label him as like someone who is actual victim of sex abuses as a child of being a pedophile.
Jack,
so I think
that's a non-argument, because someone who
let me finish. If you're
themselves.
let me finish. If you're willing to say, okay, he is not, Arachnid Youth is not a pedophile, but he is a hedonist or degenerate, I have no issue.
That's what I said in the video.
Okay.
Jack, before you continue,
wait,
I feel like you. All I was gonna say
quick
was
question off of what he said. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jack, all I was gonna say was I wasn't arguing like that specific point. The main reason why people keep bringing that up is because he himself like argues against it, because he himself spins it as if we're accusing him of being a pedophile based on that. So it's like,
that's not why.
Like we weren't saying like that you think that. We're not saying that anyone thinks that. The main issue is that in the video that Colin made, where he responded to like Arachnid Youth's response, he tried spinning it as if that's what everyone was saying about him. That's all I was saying.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to cut in, but I want to clarify this. So in the 3 videos that are on Arachnid Youth, as far as I remember, not once did we call him a pedophile or conclude that. And I want to make it very clear. Nobody thought he was until Colin did the video and we got leaked those screenshots of him basically making like animated CP. That's when we called him a pedophile. And that's because he blatantly goes, yeah, the underage Gwen, look at me bone her. Look at my OC bone her, who's also named Spider. That's when we go, okay, there's no excusing it. Yep. What we did say is that he defends pedophilic behavior, and that is because he does defend the act of people taking their dick out and whacking it off to something they know as a child.
Okay, I just want to go to Joker, because he asked for next. Before I do that, though, one more thing I just want to... It might be a bit for everyone on the panel to get their feelings out there. Is anyone here present that things that definitively Arachnid Youth is, you know, a pedophile. Like,
based on the DMs that Colin received that showed what he was engaging with in terms of the art, yes, I do believe that.
I believe he's a pedophile, but I want to clarify this. I don't believe he's a child predator. Those are two different things. I don't think he's going out trying to touch children, but I do think he has a sexual attraction to children in some in some level, which is still what a pedophile is.
Literally, the only reason I asked that is because if you know the consensus was, you know, if the consensus was basically definitely he isn't, then you know there wouldn't be a discussion. But yeah, that's fine. Joker, you're next. All right. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, I think this situation is too loose under the rules that Pebble described earlier. But even if he would be guilty of any of this, this would not be an association of mine, as he, once again, was just in the server, broke none of our rules. But anyway, there is something I would like to discuss, because you guys said
Wait, really quick, though.
You guys endorse...
Let him speak.
Katana.
Chill, man, chill.
Let Joker speak.
Katanas.
Oh, come on, let me go really.
But he was in the
No,
middle.
you said under what?
I was in the middle.
Joker was in the middle.
Wasn't even
Gentlemen, please. Katana,
we're transitioning off the topic.
You finish. You need to let him finish speaking. If you want to respond, you can go next.
Agree.
All right, I'll make sure that you do. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
wait your
Joker,
turn.
go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, but with this being said, we were framed in a way that we endorse and in quote unquote in multiple posts defended CP, which those messages were not enough to say that. Would you guys say that I endorse that?
I say.
What's the exact quote?
Well, if I can, real quick, just pull up my community posts just to verify. But I'm almost certain that my point was more so about the fact that you defended Arachnid Youth and you're basically siding with him. If I can read off what I said, so many of you have seen my response video to Ultimate Joker. I was informed Arachnid Youth was in a server and decided to inform him on the fact Arachnid Youth defends sexual depictions of children and drawings on the basis of it being fiction. He blatantly states he's okay with depicting children in a sexual manner and getting off to them, as long as they're just drawings. That speaks for itself. And the evidence I gave is that you said you don't give a fuck about drawings. He has a legal age girlfriend. So I think that fits the bill of what I said.
Well, that response wasn't 4 hours after I watched that video, but I'll be honest, if someone has a case against someone similar to the rules that Pebble described, sure, but there's a reason why EDP or Dr. Disrespect didn't have to have their video take 4 hours, since it only took around 10 minutes to convey that across. But
so
we are not in defense of any of that behavior. That is just an attack on association.
Yeah, reaching for straws, especially.
SK, before you go, Katana, you had something to say when Joker started speaking. You may go ahead now, please.
Nah, it was just I had a question. He said that Pebble's excuse was like something good enough to, you know, give off a more case of innocence towards Arachnid, and I want to know exactly why. The fact that Arachnid was also abused.
Well, no, I can explain it.
You were interrupting.
I don't need you to explain it. I want to hear it from Joe.
I mean, everything he said in like his opening 10 minutes, I think, is what he's referring to.
Yeah, I think you might have known them here. So just for the benefit of, you know, the fact that you came in late, Jack started this off, or Pebble started this off rather, by essentially posting from what I understand to be, what was agreed to be a scientific journal, where there is more of an ambivalence between what is, you know, like the definition of pedophilia as far as science is concerned, and then, you know, SK's essential response to that was, in his estimation, which I understand you share, it's a case of there's pedophilia as an attraction and there's pedophilia as an action, which is actually being predatory, and that scientific journal seemed to consider them to be part and parcel of the same thing. So that is where the ambivalence is from.
Correct. So,
can I make a statement real quick?
Just real quick, just one sentence. I was never saying that he was a predator. I was saying that he was attracted to this stuff. That was the sole focus of all the stuff that we were saying. Go on, Liam.
All right. I want to bring up the comment about the 4-hour video. A lot of people say this, and I find it really funny. That video is 4 hours just purely because of the fact that the recordings that were caught when Arachnid Youth was like doing like really sus shit would obviously take hours upon hours, and I'm trying to do a compilation of the most relevant stuff that happened. And if you actually look at my links in my video, those videos are way longer. Like if I got them at their fullest. So most of the stuff that is in that video is cut down and edited to be as quick and concise as possible. The reason it's 4 hours is because there is so much like long form, long-winded like discussions that happened because Arachnid was our friend in the end of the day, and we would rather take a few extra hours to try and talk to him than just throw him out like what people are trying to frame it as. That's why it's 4 hours. If you go and look at the videos, most of it is me with a bunch of like a friend group trying to go, Arachnid, this is not good. Why do you have a SFMW server but also welcome children into the fucking server? That's stupid. That's a bad idea. You shouldn't do that. That's really bad, especially when sometimes I see some like soft core of the shit in general where there's children that looks bad and we have to like talk it out with them and all that stuff. That's why it's 4 hours. It's not 4 hours because I sat there and wrote a 4-hour script and like did like epic hard work. My script was like a page at most or something. It was really short. The only reason it's 4 hours is just because like there's just so many conversations I felt were relevant for people to get the full picture. And yes, also I wanted to do it because it does cover our ass. This guy lied about like defending this stuff from us for like a full year, and it made us look bad. Everyone kept saying that we were pedo defenders and stuff. And now that we know he fucking lied, it's like, yeah, I want to make sure I get this off my ass for the rest of my time on YouTube.
Yeah,
like he just stained it by lying to us.
Real quick, it'll just be like a sentence or two. The figurehead behind this bullshit, where we ended up facing flack for this, was Nirvana Mind, basically falsely accusing us and getting their friends to falsely accuse us of defending pedos. So that is why we had to do a lot of the whole covering ourselves on that.
Oh, also one more thing. I always forget to mention this. The 4 hours wasn't like a hit piece on him. The first 2 hours, like the first half, or hell, I think it was actually the first 3 hours, wasn't even like trying to shit on Arachnid. It was mostly us just talking about how we met him and stuff. It's just context.
I can verify that.
Yeah.
I talked about the Borgie.
And the Nirvana situation is blatantly me defending him. The only time we actually got him was like the last hour, which is like, oh no, now it's revealed, here's these recordings, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, Joker, you wanted to go next.
Okay, so would you say we're particularly done with this topic? Because as Janice said, this is sort of just going to keep going in circles, correct?
Well, let me just ask you a question if we want this to move forward and just be done. So, Ultimate Joker, would you say it is bad that Arachnid Youth was trying to defend the idea that someone who gets off to a baby in Across the Spider-Verse, the idea that that's not pedophilic, would you say that's just wrong to say?
It's odd behavior that we do not stand by. In our server, even our video, we did not endorse any of his behavior.
Okay, so you don't endorse him defending
server,
that?
as it didn't. Yeah, indeed we do not, but as I said, those rules were not broken in our server. It's just that simple.
Okay.
But anyway.
And to ask another question, right? Because there's a few things we need to get through to make sure that this is passed through. As far as him creating Gwen porn from Into the Spider-Verse, would you say that is bad and that is condemnable that he created that?
I don't think that's on the same tier as a baby, but sure, rather odd behavior. I don't really care to be talking about this Schooner shit that much. The most I do is just slap together a clip.
Okay, I do have one final question. So let's say
$300 million. No, sorry.
If you were to either create or get off to art that depicts a child in a sexual manner, do you think this indicates an attraction to underage children?
Wait, what?
If you create art, let me ask it again. If you create art or you get off to children that are in drawings or whatever, that are clearly underage, right? So would you say that if you're into that kind of stuff, even if it is fictional, does this say something about if you're attracted to children?
Yeah, it's rather odd behavior, but as I said, I would not put that in the same tier as what Pebble explained, but yeah, odd behavior that I do not approve of.
And I can add on to that.
I will end this off by saying, and Jack can say whatever he wants afterwards. I'm going to end off those series of questions and say, Arachnid Youth, he definitely defended that kind of stuff, and he also engages in it, so I would say he falls under that category. Jack,
he's also willing to lie about it, which is indicating like what he thinks.
We did prove he has a history of lying, but Jack, go on.
Yes.
Okay, so again, as we have said, we are not here to defend everything Arachnid Youth has done It is not everything he has done is endorsed, but I think Joker and I have made that pretty clear. We're here to express that he is not a pedophile, and the reason I'm saying this, like, I'm going to leak another article from a therapist who deals with people who are into what Arachnid Youth is into, and this is what she has to say in regards to the subject. If you're worried about what it might mean that you enjoy Lolicon, your fears are mostly closely related to a particular OCD subtype called pedophilia OCD, POCD. POCD, a particularly taboo type of OCD, involves persistent, distressing, and intrusive obsessions related to pedophilic themes. Importantly, people with POCD are not actual pedophiles. These thoughts, feelings, urges, or images are ego dystonic, meaning they oppose one's values, intentions, and identity. So once again, if you want to find this stuff weird, I have no problem with that. But I think labeling him a pedophile for being into the stuff is inaccurate, and I think it's trivial.
I mean, we proved it, but okay.
I think the problem is that it goes against everything that is just the definition of a pedophile. A pedophile is flat out just attracted to a child. Like, that's it. It's as simple as that.
Real children from DSM.
It doesn't say real children in the definition.
I listed it.
And if you actually look up the definition of child porn, it does say any visual depiction. Any.
Well, I have a just real quick. I have from Cornell Law School an actual definition of indistinguishable. Yeah, and I can just pull it up. Hold on.
Okay, what is indistinguishable?
Well, you went to Cornell Law
this
School.
Is this is kind of the point I was going to make at this stage. So this is, I think, the nature of the disagreement specifically Jack has, and I just need to, like, table this as quickly as possible. Like, the fact of the matter is, I feel that this is going to be a very semantic discussion that could take anywhere from 2 hours to 3 days if we were going to, like, get through all of it. Logically, sorry, it's a case of, I don't think that anyone's mind is going to be really changed on it at this stage, because I don't know how much people. Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Could I just ask Jack a simple question? If somebody gets off to Mayday Parker as a baby, are they a pedophile, even though it's fictional?
If they aren't pursuing actual children,
that's a predator.
And they understand that there's a distinction. What they're doing is degenerate and hedonistic, but it does not meet the term or criteria for being a pedophile.
Okay, so just so we're clear, hang on. This is between Jack and I. I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. So, Jack, so if as long as they don't have any plans or intentions to target real children, they are not a pedophile if they jerk off to Mayday Parker as a baby and Across the Spider-Verse. That's your position.
A cartoon.
It's a yes or no question.
Not a real. A cartoon, not a real child.
Okay, sure. Jack. Yes or no? Because I want to make sure this is clear. So, as long as they don't have plans of pursuing actual children, if they get off to Mayday Parker as a baby and Across the Spider-Verse, they are not a pedophile by your standard.
If they understand the distinction between a cartoon and a real-life child.
It's yes. Sorry, Jack. I'm gonna ask this again.
Yes. He's never gonna answer.
Hey, stop.
I'm not gonna give you a yes or no answer.
It is a yes. Well, it's a yes or no question, so I expect a yes or no answer.
It's actually very common. If you can't engage in a yes or no question, that shows a level of dishonesty.
Yeah. So I just.
Joker.
I'm trying to talk here. Can I talk? I can talk. Okay. So, Jack, I simply want a yes or no answer to this question, right? So as long as somebody doesn't have particular plans of going after real children, it therefore does not make them a pedophile if they jerk off to Mayday Parker as a baby in Across the Spider-Verse. Yes or no?
Yeah, you're not framing it in an honest way. I'm not going to answer it.
How so?
You're not framing
That's what you said, though.
Okay. I think you are misinterpreting his argument. I think he's saying that
you want to go to dinner with us?
It's a form of pedophilic content, but that doesn't mean you might. How about this? We'll change it to indicator. Could it be an indicator?
No.
I think it's pretty clear this isn't going anywhere. So
Yeah,
I
this
think
isn't going anywhere. Yo,
I mean,
Jan,
we couldn't get a direct answer to that, so I think we'll just move on to the ultimate
frame it
Joker
honestly,
stuff.
SK. Yes, I agree. You couldn't frame it.
So you agree that as long as you don't want to go after actual children and you don't have plans of that, that means you're not a pedophile if you jerk off to Mayday Parker as a baby.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
I'm glad we have that established. I'm glad we have that established. Move forward. That's it. All right, guys, please stop. You're gonna like what I have to say. We're moving topics.
SK. Stop. Calm down.
Calm the fuck down, my guy. The Lucas is coming out of you, SK. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, just
I can feel him. I can feel his. I can feel the source.
Let's get topic. Okay.
Everyone, please stop talking for 2 seconds.
Talk.
Yeah. Let me just to reset this. All right. What I was going to say is precisely what, gentlemen. Yes. What I was going to clarify is this is exactly what happened. It's a case of there is, like it or not, and I listen. Hey, SK, I completely get why that is a baffling response to you. That's fair. But ultimately, there is not going to be motion on this topic on the premise that, and to whatever credit he may or may not be due, Jack did bring some research that, makes it clear that even people who are scientists suggest otherwise. Now, of course, that doesn't mean they're correct. Everyone's entitled to think what they think on this topic, but the fact that this is so highly subjective means that I don't think we're going anywhere on this, are we?
Well,
really?
I think the problem is, like, even from what Jack is saying, he's misconstruing what a pedophile is because he keeps going after children.
They're starting the circle again.
I'm not.
Jan, starting the circle
again. That's fine. It's a case of.
Back to saying real quick.
I think that has been illustrated. That is your perspective. I think it's been illustrated that what Jack's perspective is. The audience can make of that what they will. We are.
If I can give it, maybe if I can speak, I want to see if I can give like a.
Oh man, this guy wants to talk like 3 hours. We've already nailed the topic. Listen to Jan.
I need to finish. Like, we are simply not moving on this topic. The topic is closed. We are not revisiting this for at least as long as I remain moderator here. All right, because it has been pretty plainly made.
All day.
Okay.
Honestly,
cool.
I agree.
Joker.
Joker. How about this? Because I think.
What's the next one?
Okay.
Yeah. Joker, you go next, then Borgie. Okay. Cool.
Well, no, I was actually going to try and give a middle
ground
perspective to try and like put it in best faith, but it's
no. The reason that I don't want the reason I don't want let me explain. The reason I don't want to do that is it's nothing to do with the you not being able to make the argument or sort of thing. It's not because I want to deliberately censor what you're about to say or anything in that vein. But the fact of the matter is, SK's mind on this is clearly not going to change. Jack's mind on this is clearly not going to change. Nobody's mind on this is really going to change in the next 20 minutes, no matter what you say. So, and if you do that, that opens the door to, then SK wants to jump in, or someone else wants to jump in. Meanwhile, the topic is just being cycled, and no progress is being made. So I want there to be actual progress in.
I know. That's why I'm
at this
saying,
stage, another topic.
Say what he
so,
wants to
Joker,
say.
you go next, and then we'll go from there. And please, to be clear, the topic of what is and isn't, considered pedophilic content is closed for the remainder of this. I'm sorry, but it is just a cyclical subject at this point.
Okay, so I'm next, right? Okay.
Yes. Go.
Okay, we answered your questions in an honest, transparent fashion, SK. And I will be honest, maybe I was a little too harsh at you from the start. There's actually some aspects of your content I like tearing apart those far-right people like Ben Shapiro, Walsh people.
Also, No Way Home sucks.
Take serious.
Yeah.
But anyway, we want to segue into another topic of honesty and transparency. And I will be honest, going through the abundance of response videos we've had, yours did not break terms of service in terms of the rules of defamation. And in terms of whatever gossip happened between you and Colin, I'm neutral. I don't really care if you don't, as Pebble said, freedom of association. But I do want to raise concerns about who you are siding with. As I said, I will not pin this on you. But the gaming grift here has made tons of textbook defamation
videos
claims.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 videos.
Can I respond?
No, we're talking to SK here.
Let Joker finish, then Riff can respond.
Well, I gotta say something.
I know, sorry, I know,
Jen, before Griff goes.
But anyway, we do want to share some information, and I think you will need to share your screen. We bundled every textbook definition line. In terms of the reasons you fell out of Colin, a lot of these things still spill over to the gaming rift as he's made 9/11 jokes and even used the word retarded himself. But we have a Google Drive we'll like to share with you that condenses everything into a short minute clip, and you could say if you don't stand by him. You don't have to be on my side or anything. You could still dislike me. Your response video was honest, but we'd like you to go through that, and I think you might need to share your screen in order for this to be presented to you. It's short.
Okay, I get where you're going at. So real quick, so I have not followed the entire saga between Gaming Rift and Ultimate Joker as far as like the Spider-Man 2 argument. I know it exists, right? But I didn't get around to seeing that full thing. So that part is going to be a little hard for me, but I'll definitely hear out the receipts you'll have to give. What I'll also say, Ultimate Joker, is that just on the premise level, like, cause just real quick, and we're not going to get into the topic. This is completely unrelated, but since you did step in the territory of like the whole Arachnid Youth argument, would you at the very least concede that it was irresponsible to get into that when you didn't have proper information on it? Because as you've admitted, you didn't even see the full content that we have to say about on the matter.
Yeah, for the most part, I could concede. I mean, like, at the end of the day, our information was reliant on Pebble, and that is something we put on him for the better or worse.
Okay.
But
so
yes, but I do want to get to what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah,
As I
real
said, I have
quick,
no
real
ill
quick.
intention towards you when I asked you these questions.
Just
you
also not throwing you under the
probably-
bus, Pebble. It's just we got one perspective. That's all.
Yeah. We don't mean to. We're not condemning it. As I said, for the better or worse.
I would just say, just for next time, just try to do more than just rely on what one person has to say. Try to actually visit what we're saying. Try to actually play clips of us making the accusations in question. Because like the problem with Jack is that he would say that we've made certain accusations, but we literally proved that we said the opposite. And I'm not saying Jack is necessarily a liar. I might have thought that when I first heard it, but in retrospect, maybe he just misunderstood. I'm not saying he's a liar, but I feel like you guys still could have done your due diligence and actually looked at what we had to say, used clips from from our actual content before making that video. That's what I have to say, but you can go on to...
I quickly
Yeah, with
respond.
no offense to this, though, as I said, that video was made as more of a reaction to it. Not really something we'd want to talk about, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'll let Pebble go before I continue.
Yeah, Jack, go now.
Again, like SK, I've offered you several legal definitions and psychological journals like, detailing this, and
Jack,
you're calling me a liar.
Jack, we need to not.
He literally said
If it
he's
gets
not
back
calling
to
you a
the
liar.
topic, I don't wanna
Let
talk
John
about it.
speak.
I do want to
But we
clarify
need to
this
not-
real quick, and I'm not going to get into the topic. Jack, I didn't call you a liar based on the definitions you gave. That's not
Okay, you
what
called
I
me
said.
mistaken then.
Well, no. What I called you a liar on at the time, well, was a couple things. One, you specifically said that we said that the aging up thing was proof of him being a pedophile, and that is not the argument we made, and we proved it. So that was one. And two, you said all my conversations with SK and Colin were negative. But if we actually pull up DMs, I found that like you were accused of being a Nazi in my server alongside my community, and I looked into it and I thought that wasn't really substantive. You were also accused of being a transphobe, which I didn't believe. So I went to you and I just asked you for your side on this. And what prompted me to do that was, hey, today's disagreement day, it went pretty well, and you agreed that it went pretty well. So it shocked me when I heard you say there was not a single positive interaction. And in those DMs, I was primarily trying to help you. I was trying to add context to the things you were saying. And then I
want to go after SK. There's something I need
No,
to
I
say.
think you should let Joker finish,
I
because
can-
you guys did interrupt what he was going with.
I'm
Yeah,
just
this
trying to
is what
say,
I'm
real
talking
quick,
about.
I concluded that Jack was not a Nazi or a transphobe or this evil bigot piece of shit. So I just don't know where he got this idea that there was only negative interactions. But
Okay, so first, can I address that? Okay,
Yes.
so you can negatively frame someone as something without calling them a transphobe or a Nazi. And yes, every interaction I've had with Colin has been negative. I don't know how you can frame that as anything else.
well, you
And
included
I
again,
me.
agree.
for the aging up part, you go back and forth. Like you say he's not a
I didn't.
pedophile for it,
But,
but then you say,
Jack,
well,
never
in
said
order
he
to
was.
make this art, he has to be a pedophile somewhat.
I never said
Like,
that.
keep on
I
going back and
literally
forth.
we literally just
That's
had a
not what we
conversation
said.
proving
You
that's not
said
his
that
stance.
words you have.
Jack,
You
we
said
need
that
to.
Okay, we're doing he said, she said.
One second. Respectfully, we need to not reopen that topic because that's closed.
Yeah,
I
don't wanna...
the point being made, though, I think is fair. Of you, SK and Colin work together. They come as a package deal. SK would be happy to accept that there's like a general. When he says with them, he could obviously be meaning one more or the other, because it's like a case of I feel like you guys are kind of just bickering over again.
Well,
I don't want to say semantics in this case, not really.
Well, I'm a third party when this happens all the time, and I want to say my piece on this. Jack, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't think SK is that antagonistic towards you in every single interaction when it comes to like those VCs that are recorded. The only reason you come out in such a negative view is because Colin's a fucking asshole. That's not SK's fault.
Okay. So
well,
like,
also, like,
I say all.
Because I want to clarify this, Jack. I'm on your side with Colin. Because I don't know if you remember this, SK. Literally every time like I was in those disagreement days, and after Jack leaves, one of two things happened. Either I go, "Wow, Colin, look what happens when you don't fucking act like an asshole around him."
Yeah.
Like something along those lines. Or I go, "Colin, why are you like so like why is he your Cade? Like what did he do? Who cares?"
Yeah. And
like
also,
me and SK tell him to chill. At most, SK teases you. Like he'll fuck with you. Like the funniest thing I remember him ever doing to you, that you can somewhat think is antagonistic, was when you came in about, why don't you report Arachnid Youth? And all that he says, yo, Jack, how about you do it? If you think we should do it. How about you do it? You have the evidence.
Well,
that
also,
was it.
Like, I do want to add real quick. Colin was being like a jumpy, loudmouth, yelly asshat about the boys discussion. And I was literally trying to be like, stop, let Jack finish, be respectful. Like, that was the dynamic. I think Liam was there for it. So, I'm a little surprised to just hear that it was just all negative.
It pisses me off with Colin. Every time like you guys would talk, no matter whatever little bit of interest could be there, like with the discussion, gets ruined because Colin just gets mad because he has a toothpick for a brain. It's annoying. But I don't think it's SK's fault at all. SK will be cordial to you as long as you're cordial to him.
Okay, so if I amend my statement to saying every interaction I've had with Colin is negative, and I've only had some negative interactions with SK, you would find that agreeable?
Yeah,
that's fair.
Agreeable.
That's fine.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Cool.
I'll
Joker, Rift, you guys have stuff to say. All right.
Okay, no, I'm mostly talking to SK when I say this anyway. But anyway, we're gonna need you to have the ability to screen share at the very least. As I said, this is short. We condensed it. This won't even get above like 10 minutes or anything.
Okay.
But
yeah, less than that even. We can skip over, like, if you guys like don't like we're saying.
So, are you saying that you're screen sharing, or am I screen sharing here? What's going on?
Well, I'm sending you the Google.
Oh, yeah, so you want me to open a Google?
But we want this visible on the stream.
Okay, so
you can screen share.
I can do that. So
don't we have a watch together or something?
No.
Notice what we're gonna do here.
No. So stop. I'm trying to ask so I know what to do. So basically, the instructions are open the Google Drive link, and then once I have that open, just show it on the screen for them to see.
Yes.
Okay. That's simple to follow.
Joker really needs to get this out.
Bro, why are you even here?
What do you mean you wanted me here?
There's no answer. No,
right,
that's not in the DM.
Guys, that's not.
Yeah, that's not. Anyway, I'm sorry. Exonus fans, I'm sorry, man. I apologize for that statement.
They are trying.
I don't think I care.
So let's try to cool it. All right. I'm trying to listen.
Dude, we have an 800-page doc on fucking Gaming Rift. I want to see it.
It's not 800 pages.
Hurry up,
can we choose like specific folders to?
It's an inside joke, Joker.
Inside joke. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm trying to make SK laugh.
Yeah,
but he's not because he's upset.
The Zack Snyder of YouTubers. He has his.
What the fuck?
Version. Yeah, bro, 4-hour cut. I mean, that's a.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I should get a theatrical version of Arachnid Youth liking to touch children. That's what I should do.
I'll be like the Joss Whedon. I'll like cut it for you, and I'll like give you some.
So I'm trying to. So I have it up. Okay. Now, granted, it's gonna be a little flumpy because of my format, because it's geared towards videos, but that's fine. I can always rearrange it. So Exhibit A. So in this.
Wait, I don't see anything. Oh, you mean it's only on the stream? I'm stupid.
Yeah. So I just.
I don't see it on the stream either.
All right.
I'm just
gonna look through the doc myself.
So your first argument in this is having. I'll have to lower this size real quick. So it says having such graphic subject matter. On screen while playing a Sonic game in the background for your mostly kid audience is beyond irresponsible and honestly revolting. Okay.
Can I respond to these things since they're like directly about me?
Yeah, no, you can. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, hang on, let me just read it for myself real quick. Having such graphic subject matter on screen while playing a Sonic game, that's literally irrelevant. The gameplay background it's literally just for entertainment purposes. To make that comment about me, you would have to make it about SK as well, since he has made a video on Nirvana Mind whilst having Sonic Generations gameplay in the background. Yeah, it's literally a nothing argument, so can we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I want to add on to that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rift. Didn't you literally say in that video, like, who commonly is like watching your videos, and it's like at least 18 and up or something like that?
Well, yeah. I even debunked the argument of, because you've even said in community posts like, oh, like it's mostly children who watch my videos. According to my YouTube analytics, less than 11% of people like actually watch who are like under 17 actually watch my videos.
Also, and obviously analytics, obviously they could also like fake the age and all that, but like
obviously you can have like children watching on like adult accounts. Yeah. But the point is that it was still a baseless claim made by you based on no evidence at all.
Yeah, you still can't prove it's mostly children.
And the fact that you're even trying to spin this as me like bringing like this shit to a child audience. First of all, even if I was, that wouldn't like look bad on me because I'm doing it for educational purposes, which still wouldn't be a problem.
I think there's something way bigger we have to address right now. Ultimate Joker's Web of Pedos video has Marvel Rivals gameplay. So, like, I feel like there's already a double standard here.
Well, I would also point out, it's like, this same...
You have a point.
But, like, this same standard would also have to be applied to SK, since he made a video on Nirvana Mind, who has literally tried bullying autistic into killing themselves, and he had Sonic Generations gameplay in the background.
Which is really funny.
I think the argument applies to each and every one of us, but just keep going through go to Exhibit B.
It's literally just background gameplay and nothing else. So for that specific one,
because I was brought with this, I feel like this is a nothing point, so I don't know why this is being used.
Okay, skip it. All right, this was a nothing point.
Moving on to Exhibit B.
Exhibit B says, well, YouTube analytics for age is not a good analytic. Because some children use their parents' accounts or increase the age of their accounts, but the video was still not good. No hatred here. If anything, your point makes Joker's argument more flimsy. Okay, so I feel like we kind of just went through Exhibit B, kind of.
Yeah, skip to C. Skip to C. Yeah, no, skip.
Yeah, basically, like it would.
We don't want to take up your guys' time. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, so, if this dumbass really. Okay, I'll just read the caption first. These are not cherry-picked. If anything, I left out the ones I suspected to be foreigners or just being a case of poor grammar. But you tell me, how old do you think these kids are? So we kind of indirectly touched on that too, with the whole...
Yeah. Well, I would also point out, like, number one, like, there have been so many people watching my videos recently, so this would be like the actions of the few outweigh the actions of, like, everyone else. But also, like, how does this look bad on me? It's like, I can't control how people take the information. If people look at the information and think you're an arsehole because of it, that's not my problem. All I'm doing is just portraying the information in my video.
Well, I have a question for you now, Rift. When you upload
just because it's like, yeah, a couple of people responding like this negatively and this hostile. I've said multiple times in like the videos I've made on you, I've said, yeah, don't go and harass Ultimate Joker. Don't go to his YouTube channel. Don't go to his Instagram. Don't go to anything. Don't bully his Discord server. Don't do anything. Like, yeah, I have said that in literally every video. So the fact that these individuals are reacting in this way is not my problem. Take it up with them.
You're right. No, I think you're right.
But well, again, like the fact that it's part of this fucking document is stupid. Then, because it's like,
I think the point of the fact. Okay, this is the point we're trying to make. Tell us immediately after if you disagree or agree. You know, people, whatever. The thing is, you do a lot of versus videos, right? Who's stronger, Superman or Supersonic? Okay, do you think adults are watching that? Look through the comments.
Literally anyone can watch that. Like that content is
versus videos or something 11. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be condescending. You know, that's actually
well, again,
great.
according to my YouTube analytics, less than 11% of what minors.
Wait, 1 second. I just sorry. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Let them finish.
Okay. So my point is, you have a channel that's very successful. Like I actually see tens of thousands of views per video. That's incredible. You know, I would give my maybe left pinky, not arm, to have something like that. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is, like the versus videos, like Death Battle or that I forgot what it was called, but it was called Rewind
Cartoon
something.
Fight Club.
Yes, Cartoon Fight Club. Yeah, like I mean, I used to watch that all the time when I was
Cartoon Fight Club.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that channel sucked.
Let him finish.
I know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Like I unsubscribed to it because they did like PewDiePie versus Markiplier, and Markiplier lost. Yeah, I got upset and I was like, I'm not watching anymore. Anyway,
Markiplier better won.
Yeah, but it's something that it's more for a kid audience, and I honestly just don't think it's appropriate to be touching on a subject matter like that, because if those channels did, I mean, Death Battle's more likely to because it was edgy, but they never went as all in as you did with what you touched on, and I feel like it was just a little bit too much. That's
okay. So can I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Please do.
I also want to add on to that real quick after you riffed.
Let Rift go.
So Reskin, I would 100% agree with you. Yes, versus battle content applies to literally anyone. Yes, of course, I can't control who watches my content in the same way that you guys can't. Like, I'm sure that minors do watch it. Yeah, of course, but like we went over that already. The point I'm making is the reason why are you referring to the video I made recently on Joker, like the recent one? The reason why I made that video is because it specifically included me. Like, if it didn't include me, I wouldn't have responded to it. Because it's like, if it was just, because most of the video was based around, like, SK and Colin. And it's like, I wasn't a part of that. Like, all of that shit took place, like, months, years before I even met either of them. And it's not like I'm on good terms with Colin either. Like, I've been on a disagreement day once, and, like, that's pretty much it. I would definitely say that I'm more friendly with SK, but it's like even then, it's like we only recently became friends. So it's like the only reason that I respond, it's like I don't like bringing drama to my channel, but the reason why I specifically did that video is because it included me, like no other reason.
Okay, you have a point there. I mean,
like I totally agree with you. Like bringing drama to your audience, especially like.
I'll have to go after Rift because I do want to add on to this real quick.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but it's not a pattern of behavior on my behalf. It was just a one-off thing. Especially since if you look at my channel, this is a point that I do want to address because I see a lot of people like say it, like I've made like 10 videos on Joker. True. However, there are nearly 600 videos on my channel, so like not even 2% of them are related to him. And you'll also notice like massive. Like, I was trying to stay true to my word when I said, like, I was moving past, what happened in the summer, because it really wasn't anything personal on my behalf. It was quite literally, oh, I like Spider-Man 2, this guy doesn't, let's make a video on it. That was as deep as it went. And and you'll notice, yeah, quite literally. So it's like, you'll notice from the most recent video to the next one I made on Joker, it was like a 10 video gap. After that, it was like a 35 video gap. And then you still had to go back another 10 videos before you found like the multiple videos I made on Joker. So it's like the idea of, like I'm obsessed with him, my channel's revolved around him. I have this unhealthy obsession with him. It's really blown out of proportion. And I feel like me and Joker both, like back in the summer, it's like he made the video, nearly hour-long video where he said he was done with it, moving on.
After 5 videos? Okay.
Irrelevant, but I made the live stream on him.
It is very relevant.
It's not relevant because reactionary content isn't a problem, and at the end of the day, I'm not Jack.
I think I agree. I agree with you. That's why I think.
Well, it's like I feel like it's really dishonest that you're trying to like put all of this on me when there's like YouTube channels like Jack's. Have you heard of Jack's Films, for example?
Oh yeah, I used to be subscribed to him a long time.
Yeah, so like his entire YouTube channel is based around exposing Sniper Wolf for like breaking the copyright system. It's like that's a very.
He changed. I subscribed him when he was like doing like EI content. that really.
Whatever, he could have changed. But when I subscribed to him like a while ago, that's what his channel was based on. Yeah, like he can change, obviously. But the point is that that's like what you could label as like a personal attack against a content creator. With me and Joker, it was never that. It was initially, anyways. It was never that. It was a case of, oh, I like Spider-Man. I think this. He thinks that. Let's see what he says. It was quite literally just that, and it would have stayed
think
that
so
way.
though.
Well, I want to.
Again, I was willing to like.
Through it.
All right.
Well,
I wanna add
move
something
on to
real
the
quick.
other stuff and see what's...
Yeah, no, let Comic Legends. He's been talking.
Because there's like a I wanna like first touch upon the versus thing real quick. When you bring up like Death Battle and all that, I get it. Those things can be for kids because of how Death Battle kind of spoon feeds it. But usually, a lot of people who watch like the versus content that Rift kind of makes, where it's like actual like calcs or like genuine research and not just yo guys, Spider-Man lift a car, blah blah blah, like Death Battle does. Those usually are more like focused on older people. Like that's something
I
like
disagree, but I can see where you're coming from.
Like that's something I watch. I know Colin used to watch
Death Battle. Like I watch Death Battle. I'm 25.
Well, yeah. Not only do adults still watch Death Battle, which is common, the kind of content that Rift is doing, where it's more calc based and actual scaling, which requires like more critical thought. That's usually for an older audience.
That's like
my
final thing.
A little bit, but like, sorry, yeah, no, go ahead.
And a second thing I just simply want to say about the it like that kind of content being for kids. Like Ultimate Joker literally makes videos about Spider-Man video games, which kids are going to play.
Also,
which is something he even says in his videos.
Around the Xbox 360 era games.
Also, he made the point that Spider-Man 2 was by nature a kid's game too. Just want to throw that out there.
Yes, exactly.
All but 2 Spider-Man games were rated E.
Well, I would also point out that this entire like argument is completely dumb, since again we seem to all agree that literally anyone can watch our content. I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's pretty obvious when you watch like Death Battle and then you watch me, especially if you watch live streams where like I swear and stuff, and even in videos, it's pretty obvious that I'm not like a kids-friendly channel. And the same can be said for Joker as well. Like he swears, he does like edgy jokes. Totally fine. It's like it's pretty obvious that kids are not going to resonate with Joker's content. Same with mine. Same with Colin's. Like it is what it is. So it's like I feel like this is an argument, and we should move on.
It's also that kids it's also that kids will just watch anything at this point. I don't know how we're supposed to stop them.
We can't spend this much time on a singular document. Go through the other.
Yeah, can we move to part one,
I was going to say that, but I will just say, I will throw Jack a bone. He just said in chat, there's a distinction between something being made for kids and something being made for all ages. I think that's a fair point, but
yeah, that's fair.
But like, yeah, let's move on to the next reference, since we kind of just. So this is a video, so you guys won't be able to hear it unless you play it yourselves, but
I'm gonna watch it myself.
Everyone will hear it on stream.
Can it be displayed on stream?
Yes, it will be displayed on stream.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Episode 1.
This is 2 minutes.
Yeah, but
okay, I'm gonna have to pause this for copyright if you understand.
Yeah, no, skip the Star Wars intro. It's not important.
Okay.
Peter objectively got nerfed in Insomniac Spider-Man 2. Eventually dragged the.
Everyone.
You can keep it. Yeah, if you want.
Listen. If we want people to hear the
actually
video,
keep the intro and mute it. Yeah.
If we want people to hear the video, well, is the intro necessary, or can I just skip it?
If you just skip until you see. Like,
we want people to hear the video, though. Yeah.
So
keep the intro though.
So
I feel like it gives context. It gives
everyone, you gotta stop talking if you want them to hear the video. All right, let's leave.
But Miles, who just lost to Craven, somehow beats Spider-Man, and even outstrengths him in this one-shot here.
Yeah, the text basically gives context. Like, Joker made his video, I made mine, and then Christy responded to Joker.
I'm trying to hear the talk. I can't have y'all talking right now.
Just lost to Craven, somehow beats Spider-Man, and even outstrengths him in this one-shot here.
I know this is the most controversial topic that Peter should have beaten Miles, and I think the Gaming Rift has a better explanation of how Miles won, and I'll show that now because he can explain it way better than I can, and he actually has some really amazing points.
Because it's past tea time.
Oh, of course, this guy's.
So Miles is craving for his tea, so he just wants to get Peter out of the way so he can go drink his tea.
Yeah, of course.
Who just lost to Craven, somehow beats Spider-Man, and even outstrengths him in this one-shot here.
I know this is the most controversial topic that Peter should have beaten Miles, and I think the Gaming Rift has a better explanation of how Miles won, and I'll show that now because he can explain it way better than I can, and he actually has some really amazing points.
Yeah, I really don't care about whatever explanation you want to hit me with on this. You can make excuses and explanations behind events that happen all you want, but it doesn't help. We have what we have. Spider-Man has a symbiote, is at a point where he has no reason to hold back on his student, but still lost to him.
This was revealed by Katana's fans only after Rift's accusations of racism. I'm confused. So what is this supposed to prove? I'm very lost.
Wait, where are we? Where I don't see anything. I'm sorry. How do I see what's happening on the screen?
Well, no. I've basically finished it.
When I made my first response to Crispy,
I would also
he
like
seemed
to
a little
ask,
hurt.
Oh, wait, is the ending part supposed to be? Well, I just, what is this first video meant to prove as a whole? Like, I'm confused.
Oh no, it's just how it started. It's like
okay.
basically someone named Crispy, Crispy Krab. He has some pretty cool videos on Spectacular Spider-Man, and also Earth's Mightiest Avengers.
And he had a bad defense of Spider-Man too.
Yeah, but no, his defense wasn't that bad. But the thing is, he made a response video to Joker's video, which was Peter was nerfed in Insomniac Spider-Man 2. He didn't agree. So,
so the
then
point
we
of
responded.
This is context that they just had a disagreement on it.
Yeah, and then Joker, what's it called? Yeah, so then Joker was like, hey, you want to help me with the response video? I'm like, oh, that would be cool. So then I did the response video to Crispy. And at one point in the video, Crispy like clips something from Rift's video called Peter Parker was not nerfed, right? And what happens is that me and Joker skip over his part, and we make fun of him being British. Like, we're like, oh, it's Tuesday in it. And like, just literally like in 1 second and then skip over it, right? And that's how it all started, because apparently Rift got really offended by that. And I know this for a fact because Katana's fans did the same thing. She didn't make the British joke. I mean, I don't know if I'm calling she. That's not supposed to be insulting. It's because, you know, Katana's from Mortal Kombat. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Katana's fans also skipped over his part, and he commented saying, like, I felt like really left out, and like it's dishonest that you skipped my part. And then after that, that's when Rift started making 4 or 5 videos. And it's just going to show that it does seem a little bit personal.
Wait, do you think that he made those videos because of that?
Well, no, can I respond to that, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so just to give a bit of context, I made the first video. This was this video that you're responding to was before I even met Ultimate Joker and you guys. This was made in February, I think, or March, something like that. Crispy reached out to me, and as you know, the clip shows, he reached out to me and he was like, okay, I like your video. The video did remarkably well, actually, and he was like, okay, can I take this section from your video? I was like, okay, totally fine. Some time went by, forgot all about it. He then sent me your video that you and Joker made, where you were, you know, responding to his take, and he said, hey, you should watch this. You know, they look at your clip, and I'm like, okay, whatever, let's see what they have to say. And it's pretty clear that, well, first of all, like, the clip that he took
skipped over your clip.
Yeah. But I would also like to point out that even if you watch 100% of the clip that I made, that was out of context in Crispy's video. But it was also the fact that you skipped over it, and I was like, okay, so Crispy said you guys watched it, you skipped over it, whatever. So then I just typed the comment. I was like, okay, you labeled your video as a debunk, but at the same time you ignored the clip.
No, we didn't label it a debunk. That's your thing, man. You and SK do debunks. We said response.
Oh no,
he did. Was made about us first. No, there's no debunk.
Oh no, in one of the
we don't do that.
You never use the word debunk. You're making it up like a bunch of other things.
Well, considering the fact that we're 3 things in and this is the first, anyway. But
all right,
even in,
thank you for helping us out.
I would also like to point out as well. Even if I was wrong with the whole, you know, you guys debunking it thing, fair enough. But it's like, I don't see how this is supposed to look bad on me when in the second half of that text, I literally said, there's nothing wrong with that. You're entitled to your own opinions. It's like, even if I was wrong on the debunk thing, which, fair enough, apologies where apologies are due. But like, either way, like,
I want to go after this.
Because the point that I'm making with this is, like, it sounds, because like Joker even said, like, when he was bringing up the document, he has like some stuff of me saying like the R slur or what have you. So it's like, I just don't understand why, like, if you guys have that stuff on me, like, why would you even bring this up? Like, it's literally just a disagreement over something.
Dude,
and it's like, I'm willing to apologize now. It's like, if I thought it was a debunk and it wasn't, fair enough, my bad. But it's like, can we just like move on to other stuff? Like,
no, I agree. And the thing is, the fact of the matter, the only reason
I did say I wanted to go after Rift.
Yeah, can I just say something really quickly?
Go ahead. I give you permission.
I thank you so very much, comic legend himself.
Okay, bud.
Are you like Ermac,
you can go
legend?
now.
You have like multiple and okay. Let's.
Arbiter of
thing
League
is-
Entertainment.
Okay, so the thing is, we brought up these videos not to make you look bad. The first one, at least. It's just showing where it all started. That we skipped over your part. You didn't like that, so that's when he started making videos. That's it. Like the first one doesn't really say anything. So yeah. So after
Man,
this,
that could have been
after,
such an easy TLDR. I'm just saying.
Well, I would point out as well that that's not.
You're right.
What
You're
happened.
right.
Like I understand that that's how it could have been interpreted, but how it was how I looked at it was like, oh, okay, he skipped past the clip. I'm just gonna comment, and I think it was like a week or so later where Crispy brought up Joker again for whatever fucking reason. And I was like, okay, let's have a look at his channel, see what video he's made, like for shits and giggles. I'm like, okay, he's made some Spider-Man 2 videos. Cool. I like Spider-Man 2. See what he said. Peter was objectively nerfed. That's the first video I ever made on Joker. I was like, I don't think he was nerfed. You know, my video could be a bit outdated. I didn't play the game at that point. I was just going off cutscenes. Let's see what he has to say. Maybe I was wrong. And that was as deep as it went. Like, it wasn't like you skipped over my clip, I'm gonna get you, you bastard.
I think you made
it wasn't any
personal.
of that. Like, it was
I
just a
think you
case
did.
of it was
Lord
like morbid
Voldemort.
curiosity, I guess.
Yeah, and in the next video, that's what I mean.
I do want
Also,
to add something real
Oh yeah,
quick.
sorry.
I've been waiting a bit. All right, so so it's not a debunk. That's fine, but I will point out, I did watch that response. It is kind of disappointing that you guys would skip over like a section that would have like substance against your arguments. Like I just don't know why you would completely just skip over it.
Cut for time.
It was
honestly,
a response for a Crispy, not game.
Yeah.
That's mainly it.
But
I
fair
guess that's
enough.
fair,
It's like,
yeah.
Either way, it's like we've pretty much gone past it. Is this now part 2 riff line from the get-go? Is that the one?
Yes, this is I think this was the main problem because I was looking through the videos and I honestly did not like the way
Should I
you
hit
know
play?
you were portraying Joker in it. Yeah.
So which video was this from? Like for context,
the first one you ever made on this. So like
So
before
this
we
was
even said
the
anything.
Peter was nerfed response video.
Yes.
I suppose
yes.
I should
Alright.
just watch it right now and just.
Yeah, we're gonna play it. I'm gonna play it.
I really don't see what the problem is here. Although, if you had to hazard a guess, I would probably say he
Or-
just
or you
hates
can go
Craven
one by
because he's
one,
Russian.
yes.
Like, I genuinely can't think of a better
Yeah,
reason
like
than
stay
that.
quiet so we can watch it.
Sounds like Joke, right? Now he accuses Joker of it far more times and it gets worse. It's this moment where he believes Joker is a racist.
Spidey gets thrown into a bunch of boxes and he's out of the fight as Venom goes on a rampage and fights Craven, who ends up putting up more of a fight than Spider-Man.
Almost as if Craven is more powerful than base Spider-Man, the same guy who fought the symbiote-empowered version of Peter and did just fine. What have you got against Russians? The motivation for your entire video is pretty much racially motivated at this point. You don't like Craven, and just because he's Russian, you ignore all the evidence in favor of him being as powerful as he is, and now you're essentially dissing Peter just because Miles is stronger than base Spider-Man. By this guy's own logic, Peter is perfectly fine taking L's to peak humans in the first game, but he was nerfed in the second game because he takes L's to Russians and black people.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't know where he's going to go from here, as well as the fact that apparently he tried debunking me in another video, which, I don't know, if you guys want me to look at that one, maybe I will.
Okay, so I've just watched it. Ultimate Joker, I'm gonna be blunt. It sounds to me like the Russian thing or the black people thing is a joke about Craven and Venom. Sounds like a joke to me.
Is he
I
saying
will say-
Venom or Miles exactly?
No.
So I will say,
It's okay.
no, it was response to
Miles.
Miles. I did say Miles, it's not Venom.
okay.
Yeah, so the first one where, you know, Peter gets punched by Shocker, that one was a joke. Like, clearly it's pretty freaking obvious it was a joke. Every other one was a joke as well, but it was, like, I was progressively getting, like, more exasperated listening to it, because it's like, I would also like to point out as well, for the record, that video is very outdated. Like, there are a few takes from Joker that I do agree with now, and some of the things I said, I was like, you know, could have phrased it better, or I was wrong. So that video is a little outdated, but at the same time, it's like, it seemed to be like very, it's like the point was made. Like Joker would make a point like, oh, Peter took an L to Craven, he shouldn't have, you know, he did imply that Craven was peak human in the video, which is a lie, because it's confirmed in the game he's superhuman, but anyway, like, the point was made. Like, okay, you think he shouldn't have taken an L to Craven, fair enough, can we move on to another point? But it kept coming back to it. And it kept coming back when he looked at Peter versus Miles. He's like, okay, you think Peter shouldn't have lost to Miles? Fair enough. In retrospect, I agree with that, since the game implies that Peter is stronger than Miles. But it's like again, you've made your point. Move on. But it just kept coming back to like the Craven thing. And
Well, that's not
same
what
with
we're
other
focusing
stuff.
on here. You called me racist against Russians and black people over a Spider-Man video, and you perceive such claims and accusations as jokes somehow.
Yeah, you said it as a joking. You said it in a joking way the first time, and then it like became progressively angrier.
Like it was progressively angrier. I would also point out as well that like my response videos I make, I do them unscripted. So like if I repeat myself, that's why. But also, I don't. Like, I will freely admit, like, obviously, this was a mistake I made with Katana fans, in the... Fuck, I can't remember which video it was. But I did label... Because, like, I don't remember if I misinterpreted his argument, or he could have phrased something better, or whatever. But, like, I did label him as being racist against something. Can't remember what it was. And
I think it was
he took offense.
It was in the video.
But
yeah, like I think it was the ugly women in video games, whatever.
Women
But
and black women a separate race. He was racist. That's what you said.
no, well, whatever it was.
Dude, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, man.
But yeah, the point is that Katana fans was pissed at me, and he reached out to me, and he was like, "Yeah, what you said was wrong." And it's like, okay, fair enough. You know, I was wrong. It's like I was exasperated. I'd listened to the Joker segment, which, you know, wasn't exactly phenomenal, and it made me a little jaded. I'm like, okay, fair enough, I'll do a public apology. It's like, that's all it would have taken. Like, for you guys to, like, reach out to me however way is convenient for you, whether on Discord or on one of my videos. And if you'd have said, like, yo, you labeled me racist, that's not fair. I'm like, okay, I'll apologize. Because that's what happened with Katana fans. It's like, I apologized, and I wouldn't say we're best friends or anything, but, you know, water under the bridge. It's like, I admitted I was wrong, and...
I certainly ain't making no huge document on it, like, months later, that's for sure. And also for more context, really quick, wait, no, let me get this out. Is that what it took for me to reach out to Rift to begin with was when Rift blatantly called out Joker's actual homophobic remarks that he made multiple times, and then I realized, oh yeah, that's kind of true.
All I'll say on the subject matter is, if Reskin or Joker or any one of like your fans or what have you, if anyone had reached out to me and said like, yo, what you said was legit unacceptable, you know, you can't be dubbing people this, you misinterpreted their argument, whatever, I would have been totally fine with apologizing. Because again, it was
you publicly boasted to banning me from your channel.
The difference is
timestamp and response. Bro, you're very
one at a time.
Well,
again,
no one's listening. Can I say one thing real quick? Just as an outside observer. From an outside observer perspective, it looks like it's just so absurd, like the circumstances surrounding him calling him a racist, that I think the expectation is that no one takes that seriously. However, I can also understand Ultimate Joker's perspective on this, in the sense that even if you are joking about this, there are still like people that can take that kind of stuff seriously. So if he isn't comfortable with that stuff, I think that's a fair boundary to be setting. But I don't know. That's just
responding to a racist.
That's just my outside. Yeah, that's on the title. But sorry, SK. More times than not, if someone calls someone else racist, it's going to be taken seriously. And
well, again, I think
vividly on the title. I don't think he's joking. I'm black, and he's calling me and Katana's fans, who's fine with it, racist against their own race specifically. That's not really behavior.
I was fine with it.
Race traders.
And by the way, he claims to be sorry, but that video is still up. There's a YouTube trim feature.
Your video on me is still up. Irrelevant.
Yeah, but you.
All right, enough.
I would also point out as well.
Hold up, no, it's my turn to talk.
Enough. This is just getting nowhere.
Just to put this in
British. It is my turn.
We go to part 3, please.
Stop talking, everyone. One at a fucking time.
Just in response to Reskin, and then we can move on. All you and Joker had to do, because if you,
why do you keep calling me Reskin? You said it right the first time.
It's very difficult to pronounce by accident. I do apologize.
Related, to the stream. So I wasn't really expecting it to last as long as it did. I did say that I only had like a few hours, or a couple hours, I think. So I think what may be beneficial is if we continue this on Rift's channel, like he sets up a stream there to continue, because like while like,
yes.
Yeah, I think it would be.
It's more about Rift, anyways.
Yeah, this part.
All right, can we just do the? Okay, we'll do that. But part 3 is the last one. I promise.
Real quick.
I promise you, part 3 is the last one. Yeah.
I will also be. Hang on.
Oh, res again. Sorry.
Hang on. Just keep it in this call. I will also be listening to that stream on my end, whether it's whether I join the call on mute, or whether I'm just listening on YouTube. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what I'm gonna have to deal with in a moment, but I might even join in at some point if possible. But I'll definitely give updated thoughts on this. I'll be listening to both of your sides. But I'm gonna end mine here.
Okay,
wait, hang on. Can I at least get...
with all due respect, SK, I would like you to moderate this, as this guy's been proven to ban comments.
I trust Liam and Borgie to help moderate.
Yeah,
hey, SK, my man, please, can we just do part 3?
Order of League Entertainment. Will